When it rains, it pours, they say. How well will our contestants can fare against the elements?
Wow. Guys, I was watching the Gouda Ultimate Search contestants executing their second task of the season. And the only thing that kept on running through my mind was whoever the games coordinator or the task creator of the season is, that person must have played a lot of rough play as a child. You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Glory Elijah and this is Frankly Speaking with Glory. I am the girl with the tea. On tonight's episode, guys, it's all about the episode 4 of the ongoing Gouda Ultimate Search show. Guys, tonight was simply action-packed. I was literally sitting on the edge of my couch waiting for the next action to happen, and guys, I wasn't disappointed. There was so much tension, yes, from tonight's episode. Looking at the series of events that actually happened, yes, there was an intended eviction. Guys, you totally need to watch the end of this video to find out what eventually happened. Let's get started. Today started off with a series of activities for the contestants, guys. Now, one very interesting one that happened that got me really cracking up was this same Mfon Esin. Guys, this guy in particular, this contestant, is a very interesting personality, a very interesting character, and I have a very good feeling about him, you know, being on the show till the finals, because this guy has some very crazy theories up in his head. Last night, the contestant had actually cooked yam to eat, and guys, there was no salt. So, in order to test his survival skills, this particular contestant, Mfon, decided to starve himself of food. Like, he really starved himself. He decided not to eat to see if he'll be able to survive, you know, in the coming weeks in the jungle. Peradventure, the organizers decide not to give them food. And I was wondering, like, now, wow, this guy literally thinks that this is actually Big Brother Naija. Can somebody tell this dude to calm down? Each clan was given a flag according to the color that represents their team to mount at different positions of the camp. And in the course of doing that, guys, once again, there was a lot of arguments once again between Mfon and another contestant. Now, guys, it happens that these people, they have a clash of personalities. Both of them, according to one or two of their fellow camp members, have complained bitterly that this person, Mfon especially, is very restless. He does not pay attention to instruction. When you tell him to do one thing, he completely does the next of it. And guys, I was just laughing all through because in my head I'm thinking, you people don't even know what you're in for. You are, you know, housed together in a camp in the jungle with different personalities from different walks of life, different backgrounds. So what do you expect? There's always going to be some constant clashing. I mean, look at last night. They had their first epic fight. But besides that, something major actually happened, guys. The contestants had their first major rainfall. Guys, this was no ordinary rain. This was a literal downpour. Like, the rain was so heavy that it penetrated the feeble, fickle roof that they created for their shelter, and it completely soaked up all of their belongings, all of their survival kits, their bags, their boots, their sleeping mats, their mosquito nets. Everything was soaked to the brim. And guys, it was very obvious that these people did not actually pay proper attention to the roofing of their shelter yesterday when they constructed it. But then, luckily for them, the sun came to their rescue as they were able to sun and dry out in the open every single item of theirs that got drenched in the rain. Now, aside that, they got a second task today. Guys, the task was so intense.
That's the greet I like to see.
This was the task that got me panicking because every single obstacle that was set up for these contestants was very challenging. In fact, for me, the worst of all of the obstacles was the A board. That board was extremely slippery, that all of the team members of each clan had to support one another across the board. Guys, for the Iroko team, they were so lucky that they had one team member that after about 3 trials was able to get on top of the board and was able to start pulling off the rest of his team members onto the other side of the board. Now that was kind of what gave them an edge, as they were able to complete the first stage, the second stage, up until the third stage of the challenge. Guys, by the time they got to the third stage, which was for them to pull a big chess box, guys, it was crazy. It was a serious challenge, as they had to use a rope provided for them to tie the box around and then drag it onto the final stage of the challenge, where they had to put together a puzzle of the Gouda logo. Guys, it was crazy. Now, thankfully for the Iroko team, they were able to pull off their challenge in no time, and that was how they won the challenge. The Iroko clan emerged the winner. For those of you who have forgotten, the Iroko clan is also known as the red team. The Amor clan emerged second. Amor clan is also the blue team, whilst Iri clan, they emerged last position. Guys, it was terrible for them because their taskmaster had already informed them that one person out of the losing team will be evicted in tonight's episode, and guys, that got that particular team panicking. And so they got to the place of the talking drum, where they had some bits and pieces of conversations about the events of their day, about the games, about the challenge, and then finally they got to the eviction process. Now, for those of you who have actually seen the series Spartacus, in one of those particular episodes in the final season, there was a particular punishment that Marcus Crassus created for I don't know what they call it, but it's like the men of his son whom he had sent to spy on Spartacus and his people. Now, he had given them an instruction that nobody should actually make any attempt to attack Spartacus's camp until he gives the orders. But the son had gone ahead and broken his orders, and that resulted in Spartacus and his people fleeing. So as a result, in order for him to punish his son's men, inclusive of his son, he created a punishment called decimation. Guys, I don't know if that's the real name, but that was what it was. So each man were meant to pick a pebble from a bucket. Now, everybody was meant to pick, I think, black pebbles, but then the people who picked the white pebbles would be beaten to death. That was the same eviction process that the taskmaster had employed for the failing team, or the losing team, if you want to put it that way. Now, it was so scary for the team members because none of them wanted to lose even one person, because it would be a disadvantage for their team in the coming task. And so everybody had to pick a pebble, and then they were told that whoever picked the white pebble would be evicted from the jungle tonight. But then, fortunately, I guess the Council of Elders had other plans for the contestants, as nobody was evicted tonight. And so they were warned once again to ensure that in the coming task, they actually employed teamwork and put in more strength and effort to ensure that they actually scale through. But then, guys, we all know the reality of this thing. I mean, at the end of the season, only one person will emerge the winner. So even if all the contestants work together as a team, people will definitely have to be evicted. People will definitely need to go home. Of course, I wasn't really expecting anybody to go home tonight because it would be too early. I mean, this is only the 4th episode of the show. So how come? Imagine someone going home today, to be a complete waste. You know, you just got into camp yesterday and then today you're going home. But anyways, guys, I found today's episode quite interesting and very engaging, and best of all for me, natural. I loved seeing the contestants in the natural element, having their conversations, playing, dancing, doing whatever they wanted to do to while away time in the jungle. I don't know about you, but please go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Glory Elijah. Have an amazing evening. Bye.